Hey Raider Nation, today we're diving into the tape of Raiders defensive end Tyree Wilson. This guy was an absolute beast yesterday against the New Orleans Saints. He's starting to show flashes of brilliance, and things are finally looking good for the Raiders defense. Now let's address the big question. Will Tyree Wilson live up to being the 7th overall pick? Will he prove he was worth being taken ahead of players like Darrell Wright and Jalen Carter? Maybe not, but that doesn't mean he can't be an excellent football player. Tyree has the potential to be a game wrecker, and in this breakdown, you'll see why. Tyree Wilson as a run defender. One thing that stands out about Tyree is his ability to defend against the run. Take this play, for example. The Saints try a zone run to the left. Tight end Foster Moreau has to block Tyree, who's already lined up inside. But Tyree's too quick and strong. He blows right past that block, holds his ground, and makes the play. Even though the play was called back due to holding, it's a great example of Tyree's ability to disrupt the run game. On another similar play, Tyree is slightly outside the tight end, but he still dominates. The tight end tries to get inside leverage, but Tyree uses his long arms and strong frame to keep control. He extends his arms, stays in position, and shuts down the run again. Plays like these show why Tyree is such a force against the run. Comparing Tyree Wilson to Clelin Ferrell. Remember when the Raiders drafted Clelin Ferrell? He wasn't the best pass rusher, but was solid against the run. Tyree brings that same toughness, but with better arm length, strength, and athleticism. Let's look at another play. The Saints run a split zone concept. The left tackle tries to move Tyree out of the way, but he doesn't budge. Instead, Tyree uses his right hand to create separation, holds his ground, and makes the tackle. This play highlights his ability to stay disciplined and control the line of scrimmage. Tyree isn't just doing this alone. Credit to Robert Spillane, too, for recognizing the play and closing the gap. Together, they stop the run in its tracks. Conclusion. Tyree Wilson might not be perfect yet, but his run defense is already top-notch. He's starting to put it all together, and if he keeps this up, Raider Nation is in for a treat. Stay tuned for more tape breakdowns. Let's talk pass rushing with Tyree Wilson. Now, I want to dive into Tyree Wilson's pass rushing ability. First off, we know he's not Max Crosby, but he's still got plenty of tools in his bag. When it comes to rushing the passer, Tyree's go-to move is the bull rush, and we saw that a lot against the Saints. That said, Tyree's not just a power rusher, he's got some athleticism to show off too. At 275 plus pounds and over 6'5", it's not easy to move like he does. Changing direction and bending like that at his size, it's impressive. Let's take a look at an example. In this play, Tyree starts rushing upfield but gets double-teamed by two Saints blockers. Instead of staying outside, Tyree makes a quick move to the inside. This is a designed defensive line stunt, and Tyree uses it perfectly. As he slants inside, he rips through the guard with his left arm. It's a power move that shows off his strength, and it helps him avoid getting blocked. The guard tries to pass Tyree off to the next blocker, but Tyree's power and arm length make sure that doesn't happen. Tyree uses his rip move to break free, and he keeps the pressure on. Tyree's bull rush and long arm. Another move Tyree excels at is the bull rush. We saw him use it multiple times against Saints tackle Trevor Penning. On one play, he uses a long arm technique to push Penning back. With his right arm, Tyree extends and forces Penning backward, pushing him into the quarterback's space. It's not a sack, but it's a great way to disrupt the quarterback's rhythm and make him move off his spot. On another play, Tyree goes straight for the bull rush again, driving Penning back into the quarterback. The pressure is intense, and it forces the quarterback to scramble. This leads to a fumble recovery by the Raiders, with linebacker Cason Chasen speeding around the edge and forcing the ball out. What Tyree can learn from Case and Chasen. Now, let's give a quick shout out to Case and Chasen. He uses a speed rush and a double hand swipe move to beat his blocker. Watch how perfectly he times it. The offensive tackle tries to punch, but Chasen swipes his hands away and takes the corner. It's a speed-based move that works because of Chasen's timing and technique. This is something Tyree Wilson can develop. He might not be able to do exactly what Chasen does, but with some refinement, Tyree can add this type of move to his game. Tyree Wilson's growth as a pass rusher. Tyree Wilson is still developing his pass rushing moves. Right now, he mostly relies on the rip move, long arm, and bull rush. But even with just these moves, he's already showing a lot of potential. You can see him generating pressure and pushing around offensive linemen like Trevor Penning. Now, it's true that Penning isn't the best offensive tackle, especially when put in a true five-man protection, so it's not surprising to see Tyree dominate him. But Tyree's been impressive against other players too. He had a strong performance against the Chiefs, and he continues to make plays. A new move, the Ghost. Rip Tyree is starting to mix things up a bit. On this play, he uses what looks like a ghost move. He raises his right hand but doesn't fully engage with it. Penning, thinking it's a real move, tries to swat it down, and that's when Tyree hits him with the rip move, using his right arm for extra power. This allows him to get through the blocker, and he's able to pressure the quarterback. You can see Tyree's developing his technique, and that's a good sign for his future. Trayvon Merrick's impact. Now, I also want to give credit to safety. Trayvon Merrick. Some people criticize him, but those opinions are way off. Merrick is one of the top 10 safeties in the NFL, and his skills are often overlooked. The thing with safeties, cornerbacks, and linebackers is that their success depends a lot on the defensive scheme they're in. A great coach like Patrick Graham can turn Merrick into one of the best, while other players might struggle in the wrong system. A great play by Merrick. On this particular play, Trayvon Merrick does an excellent job on the backside, forcing the offensive line to react. It's a smart play, and it helps create pressure that benefits Tyree Wilson and the rest of the defense. This is a great example of how different players work together to generate success. Slide protection and defensive line scheme. In this play, the offensive line is sliding to the right. The center slides over to help Spain, while the right guard detaches, and Penning is responsible for Tyree Wilson. The left guard takes the defensive tackle, and the left tackle handles the defensive end. The running back's job is to pick up Trayvon Merrick, who is coming free. What happens here is that Trayvon Merrick attacks the backside of the offensive tackle, number 74. This makes it impossible for the tackle to get back and block Merrick, so the running back has to decide: take the defensive tackle or pick up Merrick. The running back takes Merrick, allowing the defensive tackle to go free, and this generates pressure. This is a great defensive line stunt, well designed by the coaching staff, especially by Patrick Graham. Tyree Wilson's power moves. Let's get back to Tyree Wilson. There are two plays I want to highlight. Tyree is incredibly powerful and physical. No offensive lineman can truly anchor against him, especially when he's given a long runway to build up speed. In this play, he starts out wide and takes several steps before making contact with Trevor Penning. With that kind of momentum, Tyree is impossible to stop. He uses a bull rush, and no tackle in the NFL is going to hold him off when he has that much power coming at them. The Raiders should continue using him in this way, letting him line up wide on the edge and collapse the pocket. On this play, the quarterback gets hit by the tackle, and it makes him think twice about holding onto the ball too long next time. Tyree Wilson's development. I know Tyree Wilson isn't perfect yet. He's still developing, but he's showing flashes of what he can become. Last year, I wasn't sure he'd turn into a good player, and for a 7th overall pick, it's understandable to be skeptical. but he's improving, and he's starting to disrupt plays just like he did in college. It's also important to remember that Tyree hasn't played much football due to injury. He had a limited offseason last year, so this is essentially his rookie season, even though it's his second year. With a full offseason of development, I believe Tyree will continue to improve, and by year 3, we'll see a huge step forward. By year 4, he could truly break out. Closing thoughts. I'm excited about Tyree's potential. He's not perfect yet, but he's showing growth. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I'll be back with another video soon. Thanks for watching.